the real reason why so many Republicans were in favor of this deal is because Paul Ryan, I mean, what is it? There was one member of Congress that said Paul Ryan is their Jesus. You know, meaning that, you know, if he's for something, you know, they sort of almost blindly will trust him on these issues. Now, is it a trust, you know, is he using up political capital, then down the road he won't have that same level of trust? Well, that'll depend, obviously, how this deal looks in the rearview mirror in 6 months. But I think that you can't underestimate that Ryan has sort of one of the few, an inside game with conservatives and an outside game.
Ben.
Yeah, I mean, right. The question is whether he can stay popular with conservatives while spending that capital. I mean, I think he did it once. Will he do it again in the fall? I mean, maybe the rules have changed. Maybe this notion that you can lead people to compromise is even for conservatives a very popular idea on the outside at a moment when government dysfunction is what people talk about.
It's interesting. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, I would just say two things. First, I'm sure he did use some capital, but remember that the sequester was also unpopular even among many Republicans because it just squeezed a lot of spending that they cared about. Hal Rogers, the chairman of the House Appropriations Committee, squeezed their spending a lot. And the second thing I think that will test Ryan will be this debt ceiling issue and how well they handle it. It has been a disaster for Republicans in the past. We'll see if he has a clever or more useful way of approaching when we get to February.
And you're going to see all these Republicans be using Paul Ryan as cover, as their excuse for whatever they do in these situations. And I mean, that goes one way or the other for Ryan.
They really didn't include a lot of Democrats. They said on the Democratic side, it's all Hillary Clinton, 89%. But who else is waiting in the wings? What if she doesn't run? What if she falters?
Well,
if she doesn't run, it's going to be, I mean, just wide open.
And then who stands out to you?
You might see Elizabeth Warren.
Exactly. I wanted to hear that come out of Steve Ratner's mouth. I think you're right, Steve. I think it's going to be Elizabeth Warren.
For it. I'm dealing with the world as it is.
Yes. You know what? You will root for her because you will do that for me, right?
I would do anything for you, Mika.
Oh, there you go, Elizabeth Warren. See, look, you've got Ratner.